Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to the last set of vocabulary words for Chapter 7. Tonight we will be looking at the Mongols, the Sultans of Delhi, or the Delhi Sultans, and finally Malacca, which is a city in Malaysia. So these words are kind of loosely connected, so let's see how well we can do at putting them all together if we had to connect these words. First, the Mongols. As we've already kind of looked at in previous videos, the Abbasid era, the Abbasid dynasty, was coming to an end due to very weak political control. And so we saw the Buyids, we saw the Seljuk Turks, we saw multiple factions of Islam competing for kind of leadership within the Abbasid era and controlling the caliphate. We also saw that the Christians, the Christian invaders, came in through the Crusades and kind of messed up the empire even more. And so, and by that time, the Abbasid era was coming to an end. So the Mongols were kind of the final straw for the Abbasid era. The Mongols had swept all the way across from basically northern China and controlled huge areas of land. They were superior warriors and horse riders, much like the Huns a millennium earlier. The Mongols were effectively killed the Caliph and ended the Abbasid Caliphate. So the Mongols were able to control for a time the Middle East and kind of ended Muslim unity for the time, and the Muslim empires were never able to recover. And this is kind of the significance of the Mongols, at least to the Abbasid era. Ended the Abbasid time period and kind of put the Middle East into turmoil and the Muslim world into turmoil. So that's them. At about the same time that the Muslims were dominating the Middle East, the north of India, Muslims had been integrated into the communities, the Hindu communities, for a long time through trade and contact. And about the same time that the Mongols were coming in and basically destroying the Middle Eastern kingdoms of the Abbasids, the Muslims were starting to gain power in northern India. And so they took control and started a period of time that lasted about 3 centuries called the Delhi Sultanate, or the Sultans of Delhi. So this was Muslim leaders who took political control of the north of India and started this kind of new empire in the north. That's what they called themselves, the Sultans of Delhi. Delhi was kind of the capital in northern India where they were from. And so this time period was a time when Muslims made some significant conversions in the north of India. For the most part, low caste or Buddhist believers in the north of India converted to Islam. Some did it for political reasons. Some did it because it was more egalitarian. It was more fair for them socially. So social reasons were dominant. And the Delhi Sultans ruled northern India for a while before eventually losing power. Effectively, by the end of their rule, they had established a small minority community of Muslims in the north of India. And at the end of this time period, though, it kind of showed that Hinduism was still a dominant religion in India because most of the people had remained Hindu. And so there were these divisions now between Hindus and Muslims. Hindus and Muslims never really learned to get along as partners in the area. So we'll come back to this and see significant fighting between Muslims and Hindus in later time periods. So that's kind of the significance of the Sultans of Delhi. The final word, we go a little even further. So we started in the Middle East with the Mongols coming all the way over, then the Sultans of Delhi in the north of India, and now we go to Southeast Asia to Malacca. Malacca is a tiny little city. If you're looking at a map, you could probably find a map on page, give me 2 seconds. 162, you can see a map of Malacca in the very far right hand side there. It's on the modern day country of Malaysia. And this is an area that originally was not Muslim. dominated. But when Islamic traders came in, they were having a hard time converting people because trade very much relied on business relationships and people having the same social and religious ideals. It kind of was helpful for business. So um, Muslims had a hard time breaking in, but as soon as they started to control Malacca, this kind of was the starting point where once one big trading port city converted to Islam, then other ones would follow suit. And so Malacca was a very important trading city. It was located right on what's called the Straits of Malacca, which is where basically all boats that are going from the east to the west have to go through. So Malacca is a great spot to stop off. And it kind of was the starting point for the Islamic conversion. Now Malacca is a city in Malaysia. Malaysia is officially a Muslim nation, predominantly Muslim uh, majority religion, and Indonesia, which is the island nation just south of Malaysia, is also uh, predominantly Muslim. In fact, it's the most populous Muslim nation on the planet. So this city of Malacca kind of started as a place where Muslim traders began converting people to Islam, and then the Islamic religion just spread through this region. So it kind of was the final area where the Muslim empire was able to spread to. And even though the Islamic dynasties, the Abbasid dynasty was ending in the Middle East, the religion of Islam remained incredibly strong. So that's it for tonight. Be awesome, and I will see you later.